Yo, what's going on, you guys? It's your man, the Grass Ninja. Welcome to the channel. We are jumping into Boruto 2 Blue Vortex Chapter 2. Title of this chapter is Tree. Not even joking. Now, the cover art of this chapter features Sarada, and it's actually a completed artwork from the V-Jump promotional that Amado dropped a few weeks prior to the initial debut of Boruto 2 Blue Vortex. Now, this is a very action-heavy chapter this time around. So many people get caught off guard this chapter that it's actually laughable. There's no Sasuke, no Mitsuki, no Sumire, no Amado or Ada. There's no Jougan in this chapter. So those were things that you were looking forward to. It didn't happen. There was no triple threat match either. So the chapter begins and it turns out that there's no three-way deadlock between Boruto, Kawaki, and Code, since Kawaki is actually fighting in a different location of the village from where Boruto and Code are having their interaction, and even Sarada takes off to handle business in a third location. So the triple threat match thing is basically three different battles taking place across all of Konoha right now. Code and Boruto exchange dialogue. Now, this exchange is kind of interesting because Boruto explains that he will spare Code's life if he decides to withdraw the Claw Grime army from the village, and he's speaking in a very confident tone to the point where Code finds such threats laughable, okay? So he's saying just 2 years prior, Boruto ran away from Code without standing a chance. So they've been hunting Boruto for over 2 years now, right? Code and the Claw Grimes. And the first time they made some sort of interaction with each other, Boruto didn't stand a chance and he fled running, okay? But Boruto's talking about, hey, you're gonna lose more than just an eyeball this time around, okay? So we don't really know the true nature of that interaction. It's still yet to be revealed. We jump into Sarada and Boruto's interactions this chapter, with Sarada taking notice of Boruto's drastic change in character, asking if he's alright. But much like how Sasuke interacts with people during combative situations, Boruto just stays focused on the situation, not even taking a moment to look her way. So they don't make eye contact this entire time. Boruto literally just tells her to go help the remaining civilians that are in the village, leave Code to him, and he instructs her to survive. So he's basically saying, do whatever you have to do to stay alive, I'll talk to you later. And some people are taking this to mean that Boruto is like emotionally distraught or something, and he can't even look at Sarada because Sasuke's dead and he won't be able to bring himself to speak about that to her. He'll lose focus or whatever. You can look at it that way. Me, I'm more reading this as in Sasuke's training has taken root in Boruto, and now he's literally all about the mission at hand. He's staying focused. He is basically Shippuden era Sasuke right now, bro. It's super fire. Now, Ino Shikacho basically jump into action, fighting off several Claw Grimes in some other part of the village. Chocho comments on the strength of the Claw Grime army, basically stating that they're not anything special, they just have strength in numbers, okay? So the Claw Grimes have a numbers advantage. Right as she's making her analysis on how strong they are, she gets caught off guard by the Claw Grimes using the Claw Mark transportation technique. Alright, this is pretty cool because the Claw Grimes can use the Claw Mark Shin Jutsu, and they've caught a couple people off guard like this throughout the chapter. So Chocho gets caught off guard, and then luckily she's saved by Inogen, who's basically in the sky flying on one of his Super Beast Scroll summons, where he's basically flying on a bird made of ink, and he's actually accompanied by Himawari. So Himawari and Inogen are flying in the sky on this ink bird. Inogen gets caught off guard while saving Chocho because he basically starts talking smack. He calls her a fatty, and his ink bird ends up getting destroyed by one of the Claw Grimes, and they begin crashing out of the sky. Now this is insane because Himawari is on board. Now as Inogen and Himawari start falling as the bird starts crashing out of the sky, Kawaki literally flies into the scene looking like he's Neo from the Matrix. It's pretty cool, actually. I like the new fit for Kawaki in this aspect because this is the second time we've seen him flying around. So Kawaki flies in like he's Neo or something. Kawaki kicks away the main Claw Grime that just damaged Inogen's bird and caused him and Himawari to fall out of the sky, with Inogen catching Himawari and Kawaki starting his battle. Now, this is where we jump into the Super Claw Grime with a Rinnegan, okay? I low-key called this, bro. Low-key called this, but Kawaki kicks this one Claw Grime and it recovers instantly, which is different than what we've seen in the past. So previously, we've seen Sarada actually launch an attack on a Claw Grime, basically one-shotting it with one kick. Chocho even comments that they're not that strong, so she's basically one-shotting things. Kawaki kicks one of these after flying out of the sky, and it recovers instantly, which triggers this weird change in its form. It undergoes a transformation. So the Claw Grime that gets struck by Kawaki grows an eye and sports a frickin' Rinnegan, which is insane, you guys. Alright, so I'm basically theorizing right now that whenever an Otsutsuki comes into contact with these Claw Grimes, it might trigger such a transformation like what we've seen with Kawaki and this particular Super Claw Grime, or this SCG, where the Rinnegan pops up and they start talking, they like basically evolve to a degree, but we carry on with Kawaki basically hating on the fact that Himawari calls him Oni-chan, or Big Brother. He really doesn't like that she's calling him this, so he says, how many times have I had to tell you that don't call me your big brother? And he gets caught off guard by the SCG, or the Super Claw Grime, and it actually speaks. Alright, it speaks words. This is insane because we thought these were just mindless creatures, but after slamming Kawaki's face into the dirt, it growls and says Otsutsuki, which pisses Kawaki off even more. So Shikadai ends up restraining the SCG while Kawaki activates his Karma Seal, launching a blast to destroy the Super Claw Grime. And he basically comments about how he hates being referred to as an Otsutsuki even more than he hates being called Oni-chan, or Big Brother. Now, this is pretty cool because Kawaki and Ito Shikacho basically have to team up, and they start destroying all of the Claw Grimes in their current facility, with Kawaki basically saying that, yeah, we're gonna have to just destroy every single one of them because there's nothing else they can do in that moment. Now, this is pretty cool because we jump into the next stuff with Boruto basically displaying his new skill set. He's kind of the only one this chapter who's on his A game, casually just flexing his Kenjutsu, or his skills with the sword now. Even Code notices how far Boruto has come since their last interaction, with Code saying last time they fought, Boruto had stood no chance and basically was forced to run away, right? Now Boruto, after flexing all his newfound skills and his training with Sasuke, starts talking about the secrets of the Ten Tails, and somehow Boruto knows more about the Ten Tails than Code, than anybody at this point. So Boruto tells Code that he doesn't know the true horrors of the Ten Tails, whether or not he's using like that future sight Shinjutsu that Momoshiki has to look into the future to see what could possibly play out with these Claw Grimes, or Momoshiki's memory linked with Boruto's yet again and he learned some information from Boruto involuntarily. We have no clue about how Boruto has this information. Now, we kind of segue away from that and we see how Sarada enters the fray. So Sarada is using the same old moveset as before, launching a great fireball jutsu. She's using Chidori. Sarada takes down a few of her Claw Grimes in her area while teaming up with some fodder ninja. Now this is interesting because she's using fireball jutsu, she activates the Sharingan, she's using Chidori, right? Sarada literally drops her guard because one of these fodder ninja basically talks about how cool she is and says that it's weird that she's just a genin. So they basically double down on this thing where Sarada is a genin. Sarada talks about why does it matter what ninja rank I'm in when everybody's being attacked by Claw Grimes, and then she gets caught off guard to the point where one of the Claw Grimes literally almost eats her. So this Claw Grime goes in for the bite, and like some no-name ninja or some fodder ninja or whatever jumps in and saves her. So Sarada gets saved from this, and we learn more about the Claw Grimes and their true nature in this instance. So this rando ninja named Soegi basically gets eaten, and the Claw Grime begins to transform into a tree. So as soon as his jaws bite down on this dude, he begins to get absorbed into the Claw Grime, and the Claw Grime transforms into this tree. And then we see other ninjas in the background also getting grabbed and bitten, and then the Claw Grime becomes a tree. So there's this weird like zombie-like behavior with the Claw Grimes, and Code actually goes on to explain the true nature of the Ten Tails. He says, in essence, it's a being that just devours all life around it until it finds an Otsutsuki. So its nature is to eat and devour, which is why these Claw Grimes are just grabbing people and eating them. Now, the truth of the Claw Grime transformation gets explained a little bit further by Boruto, talking about how these things are basically like zombies and it'll be the end of the world. So Boruto tells Code that this new added transformation of the Ten Tails has changed their fundamental nature, and now they're far more dangerous to the world than the original Ten Tails was, okay? Which is weird, because Boruto's speaking in a way that implies that even Code will fall to the Clawgrime army if he doesn't do something about it now while he's still in control. So Boruto says that if he doesn't stop the Clawgrimes now, the future will be hell for everyone, and it's written in a way that makes it seem like it's Code included, but Code doesn't quite understand what Boruto's getting at here, and he says that his entire end goal is for everyone in the world to be devoured by the Shinju tree anyway, so hell on earth is his goal. How stupid do you have to be to try to talk me out of doing what I'm trying to do by saying you're gonna do what you're gonna do? Now, the chapter ends up coming to a close with Boruto saying that I guess there's no saving this dumbass or idiot or blockhead. It's kind of intense, the kind of language that could be used in this interpretation. We do have multiple translators basically going through and translating the entire chapter, so I'm not going off of just one sole translation. We do have multiple that I'm comparing and contrasting to come up with this breakdown. But as the chapter comes to a close, he basically says that I guess there's no talk no jutsuing this dumbass right here, and he begins to go for the kill, which is insane. So as Boruto begins to unleash a brand new jutsu that he's calling the Rasengan Uzuhiko, or the Rasen Uzuhiko, which I'm gonna call it. It basically translates to the wind sphere swirling prince. So Uzuhiko is kind of like the Uzumaki, right? The swirl pools or the whirls or the swirls. And Hiko translates to lad, boy, or prince, or like young lord, which is what everybody used to call Boruto. And it's weird. It's like a cloak of chakra, not like Naruto's Jin cloak or anything, but sort of like how Sasuke or the fourth Raikage would like imbue their body with lightning chakra. It looks like Boruto's doing something similar with the spiraling chakra of the Rasengan, amping his physical stats potentially. So this is looking pretty cool. Major takeaways from chapter 2 of 2 Blue Vortex. We've got super Clawgrimes. It has a Rinnegan. This is pretty dang cool. I'm theorizing that when the Clawgrimes do eventually come into contact with an Otsutsuki like Kawaki or Boruto, they might undergo some sort of transformation which triggers this Rinnegan awakening, them being able to speak. We do know that these things are out here eating people and transforming into trees, which is why the chapter is called Tree. It's a very action-heavy chapter. There's not much dialogue to break down here. Basically, it's just a bunch of people getting caught off guard, a bunch of people except for Boruto, which he just shows that he's been training with Sasuke, and he's definitely learned a lot. There's a lot of confusion with the cliffhanger from last chapter because people were expecting some three-way bout between Code, Kawaki, and Boruto, but it's more like a three-way bout between Code and Boruto, Kawaki, Ino Shikacho, and the Clawgrimes, and Sarada and the Clawgrimes that are turning people into trees, okay? Now, overall, Boruto's attitude this chapter is just showing us that he has embodied Sasuke's teachings, and he still has that tiny sliver of Naruto in him because he's trying to talk Code and trying to basically, hey, say like, give up, bro. Do the right thing. Withdraw this army before I have to kill you. That's that Sasuke energy right there. He's staying focused on the mission. He's not even taking his eyes off of Code to talk to Sarada. He's saying, hey, we'll talk after the mission's over. So yeah, Boruto's overall attitude right here, super fire. I'm rocking with it. His interactions with Sarada definitely have people worried for Sasuke. Not me, though. I definitely think Sasuke is just sitting out, doing whatever he's supposed to be doing on some Sasuke stuff. He's never in the village anyway, so I wouldn't be surprised if we check up on him somewhere else. But yeah, I mean, it's not impossible that Sasuke is dead, and Boruto is just not strong enough to speak to Sarada without losing focus on the mission at hand, okay? So let me know what you guys are thinking in the comment section down below. Boruto 2 Blue Vortex Chapter 2, titled Tree. The Clawgrimes are out here looking like zombies right now, eating people, transforming into trees, getting triggered when they make contact with Otsutsuki's awakening Rinnegan. It's pretty dope. I've been your man's Grass Ninja, signing out. Peace.